Aww.
Welcome to Sidekicks with Heather Goodenkoff and Lolo, where we get the chance to talk with your favorite authors and their pets. And I'm so happy today to welcome national bestseller Erika Robuck. She's the author of several novels, including Hemingway's Girl, Call Me Zelda, Fallen Beauty, and so much more. She was also a contributor to the anthology Grand Central, Post-War Stories of Love and Reunion, and she does so much more. Her most recent novel, The Invisible Woman, was released just this past week. And in a starred review, Publishers Weekly says, Robuck delivers an edge-of-the-seat World War II spy story based on the life of OSS agent Virginia Hall, skillfully weaving events from the agent's past with the tension-filled days and nights of 1944. Robuck creates an indelible portrait of an unforgettable hero. Welcome, Erika. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I have to say, there's been, there's a lot of Q&As around release time. And when I saw this offer to have my little buddy with me, I was like, I'm in.
Something so comforting about having your sidekick with you, right? If I could take Lolo with me everywhere, I sure would. So
Our little support pets.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so glad you're here. You know I loved your novel, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But I just really want to know, tell us about Bailey.
Yeah, let's hear it. This is the star of the moment here. This is my little miniature schnauzer, and she's the second we've had. She's my only girl. I have 3 sons and a husband, so I need my little girl, and here she is. And she just brings so much joy to our family. She's 13 years old, but she acts like a puppy most of the time. And every time I'm writing, I have her little bed back there. She's back there usually snoring, but on some days she's restless and in and out the door. And then those are the days that we have issues together.
Yeah. Yes. They keep us company, and then also distract us a little bit, good and bad, right?
Absolutely.
So how did Bailey come into your life? Did she come to you as a puppy?
She did. It was kind of a sad story. My husband had done a lot of research into good family dogs. We knew we wanted a dog that was loving and kind and good with children. And also we have a lot of allergies, so we needed something that didn't shed a lot and was small and portable. And so we just came across miniature schnauzers, and we had a miniature schnauzer when our youngest was 1, and that dog died of lymphoma when I had my 3rd son. So I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, a brand new baby, and then our dog died. And she was best friends with my middle son. So my middle son became a middle child and lost his best friend within a week of each other.
No.
So we ended up just by chance, well, not by chance, but coming across her family, and ended up getting her, not necessarily when we had planned on it, but just to kind of help our middle son. And it was really hard having 3 little ones, 4 and under, but she brought so much joy. My middle son was back in the game, and she's been with us ever since. So, and she just has the sweetest disposition. 3 boys, they can tug on her ears and play with her, and she just rolls with it.
I don't know if I have a similar experience in the sense that my middle daughter just gloms onto our dogs, and they just seem to have that little special relationship in our pals. So it's so much fun to see.
Yeah, and my middle son, he's kind of the animal whisperer. So we also have chickens. We have 5 chickens. They all listen to him. They follow him around. He loves them.
Oh, wow.
Chickens are not good sidekicks.
Still someday, I would love to do an episode with your chickens. Take us out to the chicken coop someday, and that would be a new one. I would love to do that. That would be so much fun. So what is Bailey's favorite pastime these days?
So all she wants to do is take a winter walk. She loves the cold air. She loves being outside. And so she bugs us every day, all day, until we take her out. And so that sometimes we go early, sometimes we go late, but she keeps us all in shape.
Oh, that's good. That's another great reason to have a pet. I know Lolo gets me out and moving because she doesn't rest until I have to spell the word WALK.
Yep.
And then when she hears the leash and getting my coat on, it's all bets are off. We're off and going. So
Well, unfortunately, Bailey at 13 is deaf. She can't hear very much at all, except for clapping or things like that. So we can say it around her, but she if she sees us go near the door, it's over.
yes, yeah. Oh, so sweet. So how does having a pet contribute to your creative life? Would you
Well, I have to be honest, the writing part of it, she drives me bonkers because until she's settled in, she's kind of like I am. I feel like I spin around 7 times before I finally settle in to write. And she feeds off of that. So she's in and out of the office, up and down. And finally, once I'm settled, then she tends to settle and sleep behind me. But so she's kind of a distraction on serious writing days. But at night, for me, filling the well of reading and writing is releasing. At night when I read by the fire, she's just right with me, nice and warm and cozy. So she's definitely a good reading companion.
What are you reading right now? Do you have any recommendations for us?
Oh, yes. I just finished Jennifer Robson's Our Darkest Night. It's an Italian set World War II novel about a man who's left the seminary. He was studying to be a priest, but he left the seminary, and his family is hiding a young Jewish woman, and he has to pretend that she is his wife, and they fall in love. So it's Jennifer Robson, she writes such great books, and this is no exception.
Well, I love books from this era, and I mean, you write in this era, and whenever I see a World War II book, I just want to snag it up because it really, truly, as writers, you transform our world and take us back into a different place in time, and it's so much emotion, and I'm learning something, and the characters become really very real, which is not easy to do when you're talking about a time that's so far past, but not really. Get readers to connect to that, so it's really, really a talent. Can you tell us a little bit more about your newest novel, The Invisible Woman?
Yeah, I've said before that if I had made up Virginia Hall, nobody would have believed it because she's just a real life superhero. The things that she accomplished would have been extraordinary for anyone, but the fact that she also had a prosthetic leg, she was a woman in foreign service when that was sort of frowned upon. She just defied the odds over and over again. And I think I was drawn to her in part because my mom had pretty severe scoliosis. My mom died 5 years ago. And my mom was always beating the odds. So they told my grandmother that my mom wouldn't live to see her teens. And she did. And then they told her that she would never have children. And she had 2. And then they said she wouldn't live to be 50, but she lived to be 62. And so she always was defying the odds. And but also because of her profound scoliosis, she had to plan a lot for making outings and kind of plan around that. So it gave me a little bit of insight into Virginia Hall and how she had to work around her issue. But it wasn't even an issue. So, it's just, you'd be going through the novel and seeing all of these things that she does. And it's almost a non-issue for her. So I think the way that she's courageous and unstoppable in spite of all the odds is so inspiring.
And again, one of the reasons I loved it, I have a family member who wears a prosthetic leg. And when I got a chance to read your book a little early, and I was so excited to, and you just did such an excellent job because it's a part of the person, but it's not who they are. It's a piece of who they are. And I just thought you nailed it. And it was fascinating for me, seeing someone go through the process of getting a prosthetic and getting fitted, and how much technology has changed.
Oh, wow.
Even year to year. And to imagine doing the things that Virginia Hall did with, really a pretty rudimentary prosthetic is absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it weighed 7 pounds and it was fastened with belts and hooks and buckles, and it was a pretty primitive contraption. But she just, no excuses, on she went. And I have friends. So a good friend of mine has 2 prosthetic legs. She had an infection after childbirth. And then one of our other family members has a prosthetic foot. So I was able to just talk to them about, and of course it's very different now and different reasons, but all of those different insights were incredibly helpful. And when you shared with me about a family member, I was really honored that you shared that. And I'm so glad that it resonated with you.
And it totally did. And it's so great to see books out there featuring people with physical differences. I just think that is such a great thing. And so good. So highly recommended on my part for people to get out and read The Invisible Woman. Couple more questions for you and Bailey. Did you have a favorite sidekick animal from literature growing up or present day?
I did, and I'm resharing it with my youngest son right now. We're going through the Chronicles of Narnia, and so there's a lot of animals in that, but Aslan, he's frightening, but he's compelling, and he's tender, and he's just so many different things, so much power. So I love Aslan. That's my all-time favorite.
So good. And what about a sidekick from pop culture, from current?
Well, I love in the Harry Potter series, Hagrid and Fang and Hedwig the Owl, all the little sidekicks.
Yeah, so those are such fun ones. And I know my own children, they wanted owls.
Yeah.
It's growing up, of course, and couldn't quite pull that off. But we ended up with Lola, which is just as good. Lolo, just as good. So
he's a good sidekick.
Yeah.
I get very mystical about, and I'm actually a little loopy about everything with writing. And around the time I started writing Virginia Hall, a hawk started flying around outside my window in my office and has since taken up residence in the yard with her mate. And so now I've named them Virginia and Paul for Virginia Hall and Paul Quidla, her husband. Yeah. So I'll tell the kids, oh, Virginia and Paul stopped by today. They're always, kind of circling and calling out. So it's just really fun. But yeah.
That is fun. That's so good. Yes.
But we have to keep them away from the chickens. So.
Yeah, that makes me wonder if they're there for just keep an eye on what's in the chicken coop. But so much fun. So much fun. Last question. If Bailey could describe you in a few words, what might she say?
Well, it was funny. I was rounding her up with my sons before this, and I wanted to brush her little beard because it was all matted. And so Bailey was telling me I was mean. So there was mean. And then I yell at her when I'm writing, so I'm volatile. But then also at nighttime when we're cozy together, she would say I like to be cozy with her. So that's our bonding time when I'm reading at night.
Well, she is absolutely beautiful, and I know readers are going to run out and pick up The Invisible Woman, which is available now, and they can get it at their favorite bookseller. And again, one of my favorites of the year.
Oh, thank you.
That it finally came out, so the whole world gets a chance to read.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Erika.
Thank you.